Hello and welcome to the Traybakes and More cooking channel. I'm Callie and today I've got another biscuit recipe for you. These are coconut biscuits. Very simple, short list of ingredients, just some coconut, some flour, some butter and some sugar. And if you're going to be traditional about it, a little piece of glacé cherry on top. Coconut biscuits. Right, before we talk about the ingredients, the first thing you want to do is to preheat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 160 degrees Celsius, and get a couple of baking sheets ready to put the biscuits on before they go in the oven. But all I've got here is sugar and butter. Softened butter, take it out of the fridge at least an hour before you want to start to bake, so this makes it much easier for these to cream together. And then coconut, desiccated coconut, and plain flour. That's all you need. I have some glacé cherries as well to put on top before they go in the oven. I know not everyone is a fan of the glacé cherries, so if you want to leave those off, I don't mind. In fact, if you're not a fan of the glacé cherry, leave those off, and when the biscuits are cooled, drizzle a bit of chocolate on top. That would actually work pretty well. So I'm just going to use my little hand mixer here, cream the butter and the sugar until it's nice and light and fluffy, and then mix in the rest of the ingredients. So I have creamed my butter and sugar until they're nice and light and fluffy. Use a spatula, scrape that down, scrape the bowl, make sure you've got it all cleaned off the bottom of the bowl there. And just tip these in, mix it together, and that's it. Now at this point you might want to get in with your hands just to bring all this together. Scrape that off your spatula like that, because some of the butter and sugar mix will attach itself to that. So I'm just going to get in here with my hands. Right, so now this has all come together. There are sort of two approaches you can take to this. You can either gather up some of the mixture here and roll it into a ball between your hands and then flatten that onto your baking tray. Or if you have a little scoop like this, a little sort of ice cream scoop, it helps you portion it out much more evenly. Depends how much, you know, aesthetics and uniformity matter to you, I guess, when you're making your biscuits. Either way, I'm going to scoop this up onto my baking tray and then we'll top it with a little bit of cherry. Right, so here they are out on the tray. I've got 13, a baker's dozen biscuits out of my dough. I've put a little bit of cherry on top of each of those. A tip, if you want to make things a little bit more uniform, you can use like a biscuit cutter like this and just go around the outside of your biscuits before they go in the oven, just to tidy up the edges if, you know, uniformity and making everything sort of the same size is important to you. So my scoop that I used to measure this out is about 1.5 tablespoons, and I've got these little biscuits here out of that. Into the oven now for, you know, maybe 12 minutes or so. We'll see how long these take. They don't spread out very much, so what you have, the size of biscuits you have here, are the size that you're going to get. Just keep them in the oven now until they are golden. Here we go, my baker's dozen, fresh out of the oven. Coconut biscuits. They took about 12 or 13 minutes for me to bake today. So that gives you a rough idea if you're making yours about a similar size. They'll start to go brown around the edges and golden. They puff up a little bit in the oven, but that dies down as well. So just transfer them to a wire rack just to let them cool and crisp up a little bit. But there you have it, coconut biscuits. So keep an eye out for more recipes. Subscribe to my channel, tell your family and friends, and I'll see you again soon on Traybakes and More.